You ever have one of those mornings that just sideswipes your whole sense of reality? Let me back up a sec. I was sitting there on my porch, mug in hand, watching the sun climb up over the lake like any other day, when suddenly I hear this racket, hammers clanging and a bunch of voices drifting from down by my dock. I figure maybe it's some kind of emergency repair or a neighbor who lost a canoe, until I see a full-blown wedding setup happening right there, on my dock, as if it had somehow teleported overnight into the world's fanciest lakeside venue. Floral arches, fairy lights, giant tent, the whole deal. And smack in the middle, the HOA president herself, strutting around in this shiny silk robe, hollering orders, telling people to set up the champagne fountain at the very edge of my dock, the dock I built, with my hands, with my savings, the dock nobody but me and my family has any right to use. You know what I mean? It hit me so hard, I actually laughed. I mean, imagine you're just minding your business and suddenly your own property is hijacked for a wedding you never even heard about. And then she turns around, real smug, and announces that because her daughter's wedding deserves the best, and she's the president of the HOA, she can just claim my dock for the community. Said it loud enough for all the workers to hear, too. At that moment I realized this was about to be a circus, and the only thing up for grabs was whether I'd be the clown or the ringmaster. So, I try to be civil, at first. I tell her and the crew, hey, this dock's private. Paid for it, built it, maintain it. Nobody asked me. She laughs like I'm the crazy one, calls me selfish, says the neighborhood deserves to enjoy this, and basically tells her crew to ignore me. These workers all start looking at each other like, did we just wander into an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm? The absurdity, the entitlement, it was almost cartoonish. But as I stood there, watching decorations pile up, caterers backing vans into my grass, my blood went from ice cold to boiling. I tell her straight, pack it up, or I'm calling the sheriff. You'd think that'd make someone think twice, but instead she goes louder, makes a big show, tells everyone I'm ruining her daughter's day, and warns me I'll regret making her family an enemy. Everyone freezes, not sure if they should keep stringing lights or run for cover. The air felt thick enough to chew. And then, sure as rain, she grabs her phone, threatens to call everyone, board, county, even 911. I'm standing there, half expecting Rod Sorling to pop out and tell me I'm in the twilight zone. She actually dials, with hands shaking but full of drama, and starts painting herself as the victim, claiming she's being harassed on my dock. I wanted to laugh, but honestly, there was a part of me that wondered how this would look if cops showed up. Would they see me as the villain, the selfish homeowner, blocking the dream wedding? Or would they just laugh her out of the county? Thing is, I'd dealt with her before, always pushing, always twisting the rules, always getting her way because most folks just wanted peace. But this time she'd crossed onto my actual property. So I stood my ground, told her calmly, touch one nail to my dock, and I'll file charges. Try me. Her face went from smirk to stone, but she still threw out this threat that I'd never be forgiven, that the whole neighborhood would turn on me. It was a standoff, decorators nervously packing up, caterers pretending to check engines, my dog barking from the porch, and me, dead center, refusing to budge. The crowd grew as neighbors peeked out, drawn by the chaos. Then, her husband arrives, sunglasses, expensive watch, acting like he owns the whole damn lake. He jumps in, accusing me of ruining family happiness, voice booming so loud it echoed across the water. You could feel the spectacle becoming something bigger, a community drama with sides forming on the spot. And then, her daughter, the bride, shows up, crying, pleading with me not to ruin her day, saying this was her childhood dream. For a second I almost felt sorry for her. But let's be honest, this was her mother's show, not hers. I told her gently, nothing personal. But this dock isn't up for grabs, not for anyone. The mother lost it, shouting again, trying to whip the crowd up, calling me cruel, desperate to make me the villain. But the crowd, well, it started to shift. Some folks who'd kept quiet for years finally saw her for what she was. People pulled out their phones, started recording. The HOA board showed up, most of them silent. But one old guy muttered something about property lines and got instantly shouted down by her husband, claiming bylaws gave them the right to do whatever. Absurd, but she knew that chaos could sometimes win a battle when truth alone wouldn't. Vendors kept trying to do their jobs. Musicians showed up confused. Even the photographer started snapping the madness. And just as she's screaming about the police arresting me, sirens start wailing in the distance. Everyone's eyes are on me, whispering, some saying I should just let it go, others quietly urging me to stand tall. The energy is pure electricity. The officers roll up, lights bouncing off the lake. She runs to them, full tears, full performance, claiming I'm a menace, trying to destroy her family. The officers take one look at the situation, the wedding decorations, strangers everywhere, and you could see their skepticism from a mile away. I explained, calmly, that it was my dock, my land, private, not community property, and I offered to show them the deed. One officer, tired and unimpressed, tells her that 911 isn't for personal feuds. The color just drains from her face, but she isn't done. She starts yelling again, demands my arrest, but now the crowd is getting louder, some on my side, some scared, everyone tense. Cops tell everyone to pack up and get off my land or face charges. Decorators hurry, caterers disappear, and just like that, her dream wedding collapses into a muddy mess. She threatens lawsuits, fines, ostracism, every last weapon in the arsenal. But something had shifted. Neighbors who'd once feared her now murmured, openly discussed years of bullying and petty fines. I watched as she lost her grip, her daughter sobbing, her husband trying to save face, while more people drifted to my side. I felt this odd peace. She wasn't going to win. Not this time. But, yeah, it didn't end there. Next day, she calls an emergency board meeting, trying to flip the story, casting me as the villain who destroyed the community spirit. But the gossip spreads faster than any official notice, and folks see through it. Soon after, I get a letter. I'm fined for unauthorized structures, improper shoreline use, disruption of harmony. All total nonsense. I send back the permits and a polite warning that if they keep harassing me, I'll take legal action. Still, the president doesn't let up. Rumors, whispers, flyers on doorsteps accusing me of threats, bigotry, everything but arson. Her husband backs her up. She goes door to door gathering signatures to get me removed. Some folks buy it, others don't. One neighbor, bless him, shows me a video he took of the whole dock fiasco. That video? It's my insurance policy. It all comes to a head at the HOA meeting. The clubhouse is packed, people pressed against the walls, some peering in windows. She stands at the front, raging, showing photos of my dock, painting me as the neighborhood tyrant. When it's my turn, I stand up, lay out the documents, play the video. The room goes silent, then the spell breaks. Some people applaud, some shake their heads. The crowd turns. The president, cornered, yells about conspiracies and fake evidence, but no one's listening anymore. A recall petition starts circulating. People share stories of petty fines, threats, years of misery. The vote is overwhelming. She's stripped of her title, finally, screaming about betrayal, vowing revenge, storming out with her husband trailing behind. And the silence afterward? It was like the whole neighborhood finally took a breath, finally felt free. Things got better. People were friendlier, the HOA got sane. Gatherings became fun instead of tense. My dock, once just a place to fish, became this weird symbol of standing up to bullies. And her? Rumor has it she went into hiding, or maybe she's still scheming. But her letters, her threats, her lawsuits, they're just noise now. Empty. Finished. Looking back, the whole thing feels wild. Like a movie you wouldn't believe if you hadn't lived it. But I did. And I learned that boundaries matter. Saying no matters. And if you stand your ground, sometimes you end up not just saving your peace, but helping your whole community break free. So, I'll ask you, what would you have done? Where do you draw the line between being neighborly and letting someone steamroll you for their own ego? Share your thoughts, because honestly, every neighborhood's got its battles, and sometimes it just takes one stubborn person with a backbone to change everything.